I'm Paul Edwards, author of the Mourner's Woods books, and first and foremost, a monster kid. Tonight I'm watching The Invisible Ray from 1936. Universal Studios had two actors who were their biggest box office drawers for their horror films in the 1930s, Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff. In 1936, Universal had these two actors scheduled to film a movie together, a movie called Bluebeard. But at the 11th hour, the script for Bluebeard wound up not working out and they couldn't film Bluebeard. Universal Studios absolutely was not going to waste the fact that they had Lugosi and Karloff scheduled to shoot a movie together. So they came up with an alternative script, The Invisible Ray. In this film, both Lugosi and Karloff play scientists. Karloff is a scientist who has been ostracized for his unorthodox scientific theories and now wants to prove his theories true. He has a technique for seeing into the distant past by getting hold of reflected light from far in outer space, under the principle that, light takes millions of years to get to a faraway destination. And so if you look at the light that's reflected from a faraway point, you'll see things that happened in Earth's past. Using this technique, he discovers that a huge meteor had struck the Earth in the continent of Africa millions of years ago. And so Bela Lugosi and his fellow scientists bring Karloff's character along for an expedition to find this long-lost meteor. And they find it all right, and it's chock full of strange space radiation. Karloff's character gets infected, for lack of a better word, by this space radiation. And now his touch is lethal to any form of Earth life. All he has to do is touch a living thing and it drops dead instantly. Bela Lugosi's character comes up with a temporary relief for him, an antidote that he can take periodically, which will temporarily stop this death touch effect. But nothing is ever going to cure Karloff's character, and he's always going to revert to this state if he doesn't keep taking his antidote. Meanwhile, Karloff's mind has begun to bend as a result of his radiation exposure. And he knows that his wife is falling in love with another man. So he finds someone who fits his basic physical description, murders him, makes it look like this is his body, and thereby fakes his own death so that he can operate with anonymity as he goes about his plan for revenge, in which he's going to hunt down and kill one by one all of the members of the meteor expedition. Killing them is the easy part because all he has to do, of course, is touch them with his glow-in-the-dark hands and they'll drop dead. It takes more than halfway into the movie before the story finally begins to take shape, because when the story began, we weren't really sure what direction this was taking. Karloff was looking into the distant past with his scientific equipment. Somehow we wound up to a point where he was irradiated and has become a radioactive monster. So the story seemed directionless in the first half. It really comes together in the second half and is a much more coherent and tight story. Boris Karloff is great in this film, as he always is, playing the tortured, sinister, but also somewhat sympathetic villain. Bela Lugosi has a rare turn playing the good guy, as the doctor who is sane and is trying to keep Karloff's condition manageable. And of course, once the strange radioactive killings begin, there's only one plausible suspect. I won't ruin for you the final fate of Karloff's character, but I will say, if you've seen the film, it is so heartbreaking. The person who brings about the final end of Karloff's rampage. And it was something that I did not see coming the first time I watched this film. So this is a spooky science fiction film. It's sort of part horror, part science fiction, and in a way, part revenge drama. The story is not as tight as it should be, especially in the beginning part of the film, but the performances of Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi make it absolutely worth seeing. And if you enjoy Universal horror, but somehow have missed this one, I urge you to check it out. Listen, if you enjoy vintage horror and classic monsters, you should check out my book series, the Mourner's Woods books. I'm self-published on Amazon. I've written a series of novels that all take place in a haunted forest, and I recapture the vibe and feel of 20th century B movies, but in a contemporary setting. My name again is Paul Edwards. My books are the Mourner's Woods books, for sale on Amazon. Thanks for letting me talk to you about The Invisible Ray. I'll see you in Mourner's Woods.